Arizona Automotive Institute.
What are you doing on our show?
Yeah, you're on the wrong show. All right, I'm gonna hit
Oh,
start
good,
streaming.
man. Your audience is who I want.
This guy
all
said,
right.
yeah.
We just went live. Want to make sure everything goes. Jose, you want to validate that?
We're live.
Okay. All right. Let me close out the stuff that we don't need. We'll give everybody a second. Get a couple logins. Make sure the audio's good. Phoenix, huh? You're in Phoenix, you said?
Yeah, currently in Phoenix.
Okay. All right. You guys ready? Everybody ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Casey? All right, Stan, you ready?
Ready to rock.
All right. Ready. 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, it is Tuesday night at 6:34. We're only 4 minutes late this week. We're streaming live on YouTube as we are on Tuesday nights. Tonight we are joined by Stan Mirzayev from PartsPass.app. You can find it at PartsPass.app, not .com, just PartsPass.app or Stan.founder on IG. How are you doing tonight, man?
Doing great. Great to be here. Thanks again.
Right before.
Great job with the pronunciation.
Did you? I
thought that was right.
Fantastic.
I had to spell it out phonetically to be able to pull it off. And right before we went live, Stan was kind of giving us his credentials of all the things that he's accomplished.
And we're like, wait.
He should not be on this show. I'll tell you right now, the shenanigans that he's about to endure is going to be like the worst experience ever. So
please do not submit an invoice for you participating.
So in advance, we apologize for the shit show that you're about to participate in. But thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm all about the garage talk, and let alone just having a good conversation is what it's all about.
Nice. The garage saga, is that what you called it?
Garage talk.
Oh, garage talk. Well, I guess if it's us in the garage, it turns into a saga because we're yelling at each other and calling each other names. But we do a lot of garage talk, and it's mostly about Matt's eating habits and my shitty driving. Ooh, which I have a story about. I have a story about my shitty driving we can talk about later. So you said you're in Phoenix?
Currently in Phoenix, Arizona. Yeah, I grew up in Queens, New York.
Okay. And when did you move to Phoenix?
Shortly after 9/11, actually. But before that, I was conceived, I guess you could say, in the former Soviet Union.
Okay.
Born in '86, and so when the Soviet Union started falling apart, my parents saw an opportunity to leave, and that's exactly what they did.
Oh, wow.
The downside of that is that they had to leave everything behind them. My father was an entrepreneur himself early on, very successful at the age of 21, had a family, but was forced to leave everything behind to start a new world, a new life for himself and for his kids. And in 1990, we immigrated to the U.S., straight to New York City, thankfully. And lived there, and we'll get into that a little bit, and then moved to Phoenix, Arizona, where I currently am, a year after 9/11 happened.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That, like, just that intro already has more interesting loops than I was born to raise in the Inland Empire. Having like,
They're saying change the inputs on.
Change the inputs again? Okay. Who caught it this week?
Betty, nope.
Tim.
No, White Lightning.
Okay.
Matt?
We have an ongoing issue with whenever we have to plug in the camera or something, it automatically switches the inputs, and I forget to change it until someone notices it in the chat room and mentions it. So anyways, my point being...
That was a test.
That was a test. My point being, we should have a raffle. Every time, whoever the first person is that notices that I've got the input wrong, they get a sticker or something. My point being, like, that's a very interesting backstory, and I'm sure there's a whole other podcast just on the backstory of your family, specifically, like you said, your parents, your dad walking away from everything and having to start from scratch, and it as you grew up in New York with that background of your father. Is that what drove you towards the entrepreneurial lifestyle? Like seeing him build, like, when he got to America, did he start building things again?
Yeah, dude, he inspired me more than anyone else that I know, because he put his own personal life on the sideline, right? Talk about being selfless. My father knew that he had to provide, because again, we came here with $400, my sister, myself, and my parents. And we lived actually with someone for the first few months in the States. My dad went straight into the workforce and landed a job as a mechanic, and my mom went to school to educate herself and also raised us, which is a full-time job of its own, right? Let's be honest. Um, so slowly but surely, my father kind of climbed that ladder of seeking entrepreneurship and opening up his own garage. And after 5 years of working for someone, my dad opened up his first
Wow.
repair shop. Yeah, so it was pretty incredible. I personally hated cars. I hated the smell. I hated the way my father drove. Right, I would always get nauseous, and it was just awful. But I couldn't go anywhere because I was a kid and I needed to make money. So Dad said, why don't you come work at the garage after school? And slowly but surely, I've gained such an appreciation for it that I stuck by it. And even though I had multiple opportunities to segue into different directions, I dabbled in real estate, mortgages, hard money loans, and all this and that. Every single day, I would still show up to our family business and open and close the garage.
Is the business still going?
Yeah, so we have two repair shops here in Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, wow. What's just a shameless plug? What's the name of Dad's business? Family business.
It's funny, In-N-Out Lube.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just
yeah.
had In-N-Out Burger today. I don't know if if
They're
you
not the same,
if you
bro.
could combine the In-N-Out Burger and the lube at the same time. Can you imagine get a burger and a lube job at the same time?
It never ceases to amaze me that I get phone calls from people asking, "Hey, is this In-N-Out Burger?" And I'm like, "Dude, close. We give you better service. Come on by. We'll move it up."
That's funny. That's funny. So when so the family business started, you said in 98 or 1990, your parents moved there, and then how long have you been part of the family business? Like, I mean, other than obviously you were going to school and doing it, but I mean, like, just in general, how long were you working in that garage?
Yeah, so I went to Forest Hills High School in Forest Hills, New York, which is in Queens. 9/11 happened, and I remember it as if it was yesterday. Class was dismissed, and people were just going chaotic, right? And my dad had a repair shop in Queens, and my parents knew that they needed to leave. And within a year, my father sold the business, sold the house, and we relocated to Phoenix, Arizona, where we are now. The whole family actually moved, my grandparents, my aunts, uncles. So it's like the whole little tribe picked up and left. And thankfully we did, because honestly, the lifestyle here is just absolutely fantastic versus what they're going through in New York.
Can I dive into that a little bit?
Sure.
I mean, obviously 9/11 happened. We could go down a whole rabbit hole with that. But what was the level of urgency with your dad specifically? Do you have any, like, what did he feel like he had to leave right away?
Yeah, New York as a whole is super chaotic, right? And after 9/11 happened, things just got even tighter. Making a living in New York is extremely difficult because it's such a dog-eat-dog world. And when you squeeze the belt, for lack of a better term, right, things just, people in general, uh, kind of lose themselves. So he picked up on that fairly quickly. I didn't. I didn't know what was going on, right? I went to school, worked at the family business, living a good lifestyle with all my friends, childhood friends. So I didn't know why we would move, but he actually made the right decision.
Because I could see on one end of the spectrum, after 9/11 happened, there was a lot of camaraderie and community and building, and then on the other end of the spectrum, there's a lot of people here that aren't that don't look like me or talk like me and walk like me, and now there's like it was very, there was some divisiveness at the time, and it was just interesting that your dad picked up on whatever it was he picked up on and we're out and went to Phoenix. So what year did you move to Phoenix?
2003.
Okay, and
2003 we drove cross country. It was an adventure of its own, for sure.
I've done that. That is an adventure.
Yeah.
I mean, you get to see a lot of different parts of the country.
But what are you seeing, honestly? Like, once you get past like the East Coast, it's like
Flat.
I know what our typical answer is or comment. The flyover country or whatever. But there's parts of like Alabama, like the rolling hills or whatever, that I'll never forget. That was like really beautiful, and stuff like that. Also, how big Texas is. And what a wasteland.
Oh, yeah.
What a complete wasteland Texas is. It's just, we're still in, like, when you finally get to New Mexico, you're like, I can't believe I finally got out of Texas. It seems like I've been in Texas for decades, It's endless.
So you make that trip. How old were you when you made that trip to Phoenix?
Yeah, I was about 16.
Oh wow, okay. That's like right in the middle of the high school years, the formidable
Yeah,
years.
yeah. Dude, I got pulled out in of junior year in high school, and I was like, no, man, I got to start this
Oh,
all over again. And these
that's
are my childhood friends, but it put me in a really rough shape because coming from a place like New York, which is like a melting pot, to Phoenix, Arizona, especially in the North Valley, let's just say that it's lacking diversity.
yeah,
So for
yeah.
me, I was just like super rebellious. I didn't want to go to school. I wanted to go back to New York City, but again, my father said, no, we're gonna, we need to start a business, and I had to work at the family business. And thankfully, one thing led to another. We evolved, we grew. I took over the family business as well.
Wow. So you drop in Phoenix. You're doing this family business thing. How does the entrepreneurial spirit kind of present itself in you? I mean, above and beyond taking on the family business, you have done several other things. Talk a little bit about that progression from working at the family business to like the things that you did next.
Yeah, you see, I look at every single day as an opportunity. So you're always looking to solve something, right? As an entrepreneur, and we as people just look, we're problem solvers. I think that perfection is the enemy of innovation in a sense,
I
right? So
like
when you
to think of
perfect something,
myself. I'm sorry. I like to think of
that's
myself as
perfect.
a problem creator.
Pretty
I
much,
probably
yeah.
create more
Matt,
problems
Matt, yeah.
for people to solve. You're welcome.
The best way to solve problems in my world is just turn off Matt's mic. Just.
Jose, can you take care of that for
Good luck,
You got
Jose.
He gave me the green light.
How does he know you're next to me?
us?
Because
The
you're looking at
background,
each
I
other.
mean,
Yeah.
doesn't do any justice. I love there you go. The black curtain is just fantastic.
Get off me, Holmes.
Yeah, so looking for opportunities, I would find myself walking into stores and seeing so many different products, but I knew that there's no perfect product. So I would try to innovate things and trying to figure out solutions. But I've tried different industries. So I got my real estate license at the age of 21, 24. I got my mortgage originating license, but I never really liked showing houses. It was one of the most worst things you can do. It's such a chore. And paperwork is such a chore. It's one of my weaknesses. It's something that I just don't like to do, let alone showing people multiple houses and then have to circulate back. And I understand because when you buy a house, it's the biggest investment that you do, right? Second is a vehicle. So people are
Yeah.
very passionate and emotional when it comes down to home purchases or car purchases, and I totally understand that. But every single day, again, keep in mind that I had to show up at the family business, and I started really thinking about what do I know really well, and that's the ins and outs of service stations, part procurements, dealing with the Fortune 100 companies, the brick and mortar stores, the big box stores. I knew how they operate really well. I knew how the back end of repair shop operates. So that gave me an opportunity to look within the industry and find a solution to a problem that I faced every single day, and that had to do with searching for car parts.
And so that leads us right into PartsPass.app. Did you have any background in software applications or development, or was it all just the visceral experience, life experience of having to figure out where to get parts, and then like what happened next?
Yeah, I would watch videos of the PayPal mafia, right? The guys that created this early on and what they did and how they did it. And back then, it was extremely difficult because they didn't have these libraries, the code libraries where you can just extract things. You didn't have to reinvent the wheel. And at the time, I saw the internet continuously growing, and at that point, cell phones, mobile applications were really hot. And I thought to myself that if we can create an app that can search multiple suppliers, and actually, this is my first venture called Parts Detect, which is a business to business platform. And the problem that I solved there is the amount of time mechanics search from local parts suppliers. It just took too long, right? I would calculate every single car that came in. I would see how much time I spent and average about 15 minutes per car. And I did the calculations of how many cars we did throughout the year. And we were wasting over $45,000 of me just sitting behind the desk calling different suppliers, right? So you calculate those hours, and that's how much we were spending just searching for car parts. So I decided to create a solution for it called Parts Detect with no software background. But I pitched it to my first cousin, Alex, who is the genius in the family in a sense, right? Who really retains information really well. And at the time, he was going through kind of finding himself, but he knew that he wanted to do something in medical. So he was actually going to go into surgery. And after over 1,000 hours of community service, he quickly realized that doing the same thing day in and day out was not for him. And that's when I pitched him. I said, if you come into business every day is an emotional roller coaster. You don't know what you're getting into, but it's exciting. I have this idea. It's called Parts Detect. It searches through different parts suppliers locally and sorts it by whoever has it available, what the price is, what the warranty is, and you should be able to place an order directly from the app. He's like, that's a great idea. I see you suffering. I see your dad suffering. And I know that there's hundreds of thousands of other mechanic shops that are going through the same process. So that day we went, grabbed the paper and pen, and put together a business plan of what that would look like. Alex taught himself how to code, just the basics, right, through YouTube. And he actually applied for a hacker academy in San Francisco, which he got accepted to. So he packed his stuff, packed up his Honda Civic, and drove up to San Francisco after a day and a half, checked into the Hacker Academy, did that for a few months with his savings, and we built our first app called Parts Detect. 5 years later, here we are in 2022. I wanted to bring the same solution to the do-it-yourselfers, for the general consumer, business to consumer, B2C. Because I would watch how customers interacted with part suppliers, local part suppliers, right, the big box stores, and I watched how much friction was involved. You got to wait in line. First of all, you got to get there. Then you got to wait in line, and then you have to know the lingo, and then you have to see if the counter guy or girl is in a bad attitude. And now they're expressing that, right? They're projecting.
They're in a bad attitude.
Yeah, I was gonna
Right.
say
And
Casey works at a shop and he deals with all this. It's funny, all the stuff that you're talking about is stuff that he's talked about because he works at a shop.
Yeah.
I'm sure this is exactly like he knows exactly what you're talking about.
So we created a MVP, which stands for minimal viable product. Just put some graphics together of what it would look like for Parts Detect. But I was talking about PartsPass. So watching how customers interact with local box stores, I knew that they wanted a solution. And you can't rely on online suppliers like Amazon or eBay because it's just a search engine, and you don't know who the suppliers are, right? It can be fly-by-night companies, cheap Chinese products. You really don't know. So boom, another opportunity, giving them a better quality product, giving them a better customer experience, and 2-day shipping. So that's kind of give you a glimpse into what we do. And we took it one step further, really focusing on a better user experience. So we have artificial intelligence in the app. So what you can do now, you can take a picture of the car, whether it's from the front or from the back, and that AI will decode the make and model. Now, there's a little bit of human interaction that's going to be involved depending on the year. So sometimes the AI will ask you what year is it, and then you're good to go. We also just released another feature that allows people to select a vehicle, because what we got reviews is like, hey, I'm on the toilet or I'm on the couch. I don't want to have to get up and take a picture of my car. You know what I mean? So we just launched actually last week. You can take a picture of the car, front or back, and I used it multiple times today. You can also select the manual entry. So you can go year, make, model, engine size, and then search for parts.
Can you
And
imagine?
the parts that we care.
Oh, sorry
Yeah,
to cut
go
you
ahead.
off, but I wish that technology was available when Matt first came on the show, because Matt would Matt would walk up to a car and go, that one's got blue stickers on it.
No, that's
that's all. Yeah.
no. I'd go, that's a nice Jeep you have there. I couldn't tell you which kind of Jeep it was.
It's so funny. Yeah,
I like the stickers you have, but I'll tell you that you start talking about AI, and anytime AI comes up, I start worrying about Terminator. So I hope we haven't somehow started like like
Skynet's listening right now.
Exactly, a Skynet scenario. Can you confirm that
Sure.
you're not this is not going to come back to haunt us in like 5 to 10 years?
Keep in mind AI, right? We want to take it one step further, but AI is only as smart as you feed it, right? But then again,
Not from the
it'll
movies I've watched. From the movies that I've watched, it just
Yeah, I
starts
was
with
gonna
a
say-
simple thing, and
It
that's how zombies.
evolved.
You play a
it's
single
it's
if-then
legitimate. Your
statement.
fears are legitimate, absolutely, because
Exactly.
things can just
Let me
take
just
off on their own.
let me confirm my fears. Like that's all it takes for AI to where a Terminator
Well, you got to enroll
scenario.
in one of those hacker classes, man.
Yeah.
No,
Matt,
I'm
you
gonna
got to
s-
challenge yourself.
You
You
can
got to go
take
out there
down
and
the
learn
AI.
software, man.
I'm not fighting Terminators. If
Oh
that's
my
what you guys are
god.
talking about.
Oh my god. Matt does not need to learn software. Matt took 25 minutes to log into his computer 2 weeks ago. The last thing we need is Matt in front of a hacker class because he will just put a fist through somebody's laptop. That's all that will happen.
If that's what I have to do to prevent Terminator, then I'll do that.
I'm gonna give it up to Matt because he was the first one to log on here. So Matt, you
Actually-
did something right, right?
Yeah, well, at least I was timely. I think it was Jose was first tonight, but
So
I was trying to give you a credit.
Thanks, man.
so the parts pass as you started developing that based on those experiences, like how long did that process take from conception to where you have a minimum viable product that you felt was ready to present to someone?
Yeah, you see that's the crazy thing about it is we went in lean. So we took the lean approach, and if you Google that, it's one of the kind of a blueprints that you follow when you're building an application, which means you go in there very quickly, you build out just enough to make people start engaging with it, right? So that can take anywhere from 6 months to a year. Our team internally, built this out in 7 months, and now on a weekly, bi-weekly week, kind of like a every 2 weeks, we're launching new features on the app because you can't get it perfect, right? If you're, and one of the saying goes is if you're happy with your first version, you waited too long to launch,
Yeah.
right? So you have to be extremely embarrassed of your first iterations, your first version of whatever it is that you make, and then you perfect it as time goes on. Not perfect it, but you always upgrade it.
We're fortunate enough to be embarrassed about the week prior, like just every week. It's like, well, that was a shit show. Let's try again. But especially in something like, well, not only software applications, but an application that's focused on the automotive world, because the automotive world is not stagnant. There's so many, new models every day. There's new vehicles that are coming out. There's new inquiries from customers that have, the random Saab A9 from 1984 that they want to find a part for. I mean, all of that stuff continues to evolve.
Saab?
Dude, I had a buddy in high school whose mom had a Saab.
I mean,
It
I
was
know those
so
are
cool.
real.
Yeah.
I've seen them.
Yeah, they're still
I
out
know
there.
those are
They're
real
still out there.
cars.
They used to design freaking like jets or
They
something.
did.
Like
They
that.
designed
Yeah,
jets.
they were
Engineers.
they were started by jet engineers.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
But my point being is, like, if you waited for all of those fringe applications to be ready, you'd never launch. I mean, I love the fact that you're like, get it out there as quick as possible in a format that's functional, and then just iterate to get it to grow. So when did Parts Pass launch officially?
It launched November 1st, I believe. We had an event with St. Jude's, which was really cool. So we did a drive, donation drive. We had some pretty cool cars that came out and got a chance to interact with marathon runners and kids as well. So it was pretty nice, and we had an opportunity to launch the app there as well.
That's awesome. And I'm on, so you guys can go to PartsPass.app right now to find out more about it. There's all kinds of stuff on there. Their story, the features, the brands that they work with. So who specifically is the customer? Who's the user for PartsPass?
Yeah, so we put together a persona, and the user is going to be your everyday tinkerer. So currently, it's available on just Apple. We are expecting to launch it on the Android probably end of July of this year. With that being said, what we've seen, the current user age group is from 25 to, I'd say, 55, It's a bit, both men and women. I think it can really utilize it, and that's kind of what we've seen on the demographics that we have now. Is a little bit more on the male side, but women definitely are encouraged to use the application. It's super easy to use. Everyone needs parts, do-it-yourselfers specifically. There's also a huge category now of the do-it-for-me. So people are having their vehicle diagnosed, or they're buying their parts themselves and having a local garage install it for them. Or we're seeing an increase of mobile mechanic services as well. So people are getting smarter with the affordability of these computers, right? That you can find on Amazon for maybe $200 that can scan your car. You can do resets. You can do trouble codes, and then you can take those trouble codes and pop them into Google or into YouTube, right? YouTube is a huge tutorial um, platform that allows people to search certain terms like how do I replace an air filter, or how do I change my own oil, or how do I replace the radiator, right? So we're seeing a huge increase of do-it-yourselfers. People are holding on to their vehicles a lot longer. The average vehicle age on the road right now is 13 years old with over 130,000 miles. Sales of new cars are down, leasing is down as well. And then you have these EVs that we can get into, and the subscription-based models that are coming out as well for people with the autonomous driving vehicles. So there's a lot that's going on in the industry, but I think the fundamentals is that people are always going to want to own their own cars. People don't want to have to rely on someone or some service to take them from point A to point B. I want to keep my gym bag in the back. I want to keep my sneakers in the back, right? And I want to go when I need to. I don't want to have to wait for a Waymo or a Tesla to pull up and take me away.
Looking at the brands, there's a ton here that are OEM specific, but there's a couple that look like they could also be aftermarket. Is the app focus currently OEM, aftermarket, both?
So we currently have over 23 distribution centers across the country, which gives us a wide range of parts. We focus on original equipment, and we also focus on aftermarket OE specs, parts like Bosch and Denso, things of that nature. But we also have the Fords, the General Motors, the Hitachi, which is made for Mitsubishi vehicles, for Honda vehicles, for Hyundai vehicles, right? We carry all those. We have over 2 million SKUs on deck, as they say. So we have quite a bit of inventory, and again, we're focusing on quality name brand parts at wholesale pricing, typically about 25% less than our competitors. So you're getting a better user experience, you're getting a better product, and you're getting the best price that you can.
And the going back to the distribution centers, you said how many?
Over 23 at this point. We offer same-day shipping, FedEx 2-day delivery.
Well, so with
hold on, Cody. So are you able to like expand or shrink like the search radius? Like, so if you only want to find it local, like I need to pick this up today, or I don't care if it's across the country and I get it in 3 days, 4 days, whatever.
Yeah, so we typically show results depending on where that call is being made from. So for example, if you're in Arkansas somewhere, wherever it may be, so we'll source your local distribution center to see if it's available so you can get it quicker. If we don't have it in stock, we just don't have it in stock. So we're also expanding our back-end infrastructure with our catalogs to offer even more variety of original equipment parts directly from manufacturers that you see, like Mercedes and Lexus, for example.
So the
and even
go ahead.
Just to add to it, Casey, as we continue to evolve and expand, really focusing on that GPS locator is going to help us, because we ultimately want to get that part to you, if possible, within an hour. So that's something that we're working on as well. Just kind of drop that in there.
Yeah, to get it to Casey in an hour, that's going to be you're going to need one of those Amazon drones.
Yeah.
He lives at he lives at the top of that mountain back there behind him. So
Cool.
I don't
Delaware Heights.
Yeah, I don't have an iOS device because I'm smarter than that. So I haven't actually used the app.
Yeah, it doesn't work on Ting, Cody.
It doesn't work on Ting or T-Mobile or whatever it is your cheap ass is using.
So
he has a burner phone. That's what it is.
Exactly.
Flip phones.
It's still a flip phone. It's the jitterbug. It's the jitterbug. So the
It's got giant buttons. and shit.
the 3 buttons.
So I just want to ask you a question. How big is your like programming? How many programmers do you have on staff?
It's not the size, Jose.
I mean,
We
how big
have,
is how big is the operation? I mean, it sounds like there's
your staff?
no.
So we have an internal. How big is my shaft? What?
Exactly.
Your staff, like the number of
Okay,
employees.
okay.
And
Well, I'm just
Oh,
saying
staff.
it's a lot of data they got to collect, like just building
We have,
libraries.
yeah,
so,
we again, we've been doing this for a number of years, so we understand the back end infrastructure fairly well. The reason why it's so complex is because of what you mentioned earlier, is that there's so many cars and so many moving parts and so many SKUs, and then you have aftermarket OEM, and those
yeah.
numbers have to cross reference, right? So we do that really well. We've been doing it for a long time. But we have seven employees that are dealing with the back end infrastructure, software related.
Yeah.
And
Plus,
then the number of employees that we have with the distribution centers are another category.
plus he has Skynet.
yeah.
So Skynet, like you just treat it like just keep working. I don't want to hear you complain. That's essentially how it gets pissed off.
No, as
and
as
fights
a
against this.
failed computer science major, I just wanted to know what
Dude, get back in there, man. I mean, they have,
I
No,
dude,
we got him into air
entry
conditioning.
level.
We got him into air conditioning, ruined his life forever.
I tripped at the finish line.
Um,
That's how close I was.
Yeah. So going back to parts detect. So to go on Jose's point, I would assume that there's like 6 different ways to search for a part. Like here's the OEM part number, cross-reference that. Here's the year, make, and model, cross-reference that. There's got to be a massive database that takes all those different points of entry to get them to the one point. Were you able to continue the work that you did with Parts Detect, and then kind of those databases exist today because there's so many parts companies out there they're working with that? Were you able to pull all that together, or did you have to build it from scratch again?
Yeah, we had to start from ground zero again because it's 2 completely different entities, 2 completely different companies, and we knew that if we were to, we can't do it just because it would be like
Crossing
commingling
streams.
and
Yeah,
it's something that you don't do.
Yeah,
Because we have different partners and different companies.
got it. That makes sense. As the database was growing, setting up those distribution centers, it takes a lot of networking and identifying that. How did you go about growing the distribution network? Because if you have the best app in the world, but you don't have any way to get the part from the warehouse to the shop or to the customer, it doesn't do anybody any good. What was that process like?
It's super challenging because there's other companies that offer drop ship, right? There's other companies that offer white labeling kind of thing, right? So you don't have to come out with the idea. You can just pay somebody, put a sticker on it, and call it your own in a sense. Going into this, if we couldn't provide value, we knew that we didn't want to even dabble into it because we have other operations that are going on. But we knew that we have a solid partnership. We have great colleagues and co-founders within the company that it made things bearable. It's nothing about it is easy, but it made things bearable where you can say, okay, you know what, let's reach the next milestone. Let's reach the milestone after that. So everyone's on the same page, just like I believe what you guys have here.
No,
you
no. These 3 aren't even in the right book. Like that's just they're in a different library altogether.
There's comes a point where
I'm in a comic book store.
Unite. There you go. Power Rangers, right? Unite.
Yes.
Kind of thing, right? So everyone comes together. Everyone has the same goal.
We're
We
more
wanna
like
bring
Voltron.
value.
Yeah, we try to do Voltron.
Because we're old. but
Yeah.
That's it.
More like Scooby.
When you talk about your co-founders and your development team and that sort of, what was the ramp up process like for growing the business? Like who did it start with, and over I mean, apparently a short period of time you were able to ramp that up. Was that quick, or did you just bring one person on at a time?
No, there was a lot of behind the scenes. There was a lot of meetings. There was a lot of convincing to do because any operation that you start, you really have to give a lot of time and attention to. So my co-founders, my partners, they all have, their own operations going on at the end of the day. They have family members. So it puts me in a position of being a little selfish because I'm like, okay, here's an opportunity, here's the company, here's the idea. I need you to believe in it. So as a founder, as a CEO, I need to communicate that with them, right? So I'm relying on them. They relying on me to push the business forward. I'm relying on them to uh, reach certain milestones. So at the end of everything, everyone knew that they wanted to be a part of it. Everyone saw an opportunity. We love solving problems, specifically through software. Um, so it kind of like united us. We showed up to the first meeting. Okay, everyone showed up. Second meeting. Okay, everyone showed up. And kind of like that kind of grew. And it gave me the assurance that I needed to believe in my team and to believe in the mission and in the product as well.
So launching in November, so you get all the team on board. You launch in November. What's the ramp up period been like since November when you first launched? I got to imagine day one is a lot of hair on fire, making sure the lights stay on and the beeps are beeping. And then as you work on the iterations, like has it been like an exponential growth, or is it still nice and steady?
Yeah, let me tell you, the launch was in November, but we had a pre-launch in August, right? So we did a pre-launch. Oh, right, things are going, and the rocket fell right back down, right? Exploded. It's like, okay, let's go back to the drawing board. Okay, let's do another launch. We launched it and just dead down again. So in a way, the universe has its ways of to see if you really want this, right? So it's gonna give you a teaser. It's gonna give you a hook to see if you actually want whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's, I don't know, let's not get into that. But we've proven ourselves and proven to ourselves that we do want this. We went back to the drawing board. We found solutions to the problems. And just to kind of, we've been growing exceptionally well over the past 2 months. So every single day is just up.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have to. I mean, all of us have done well. Couple of us have done work on our vehicles. Jose buys a new part every week. Like it's part of his.
Bro, it's a 27-year-old vehicle.
It's part. He's a 1902 Land Cruiser, and
so you're gonna see
yeah, you're gonna see an uptick on your Land Cruiser
on a
parts.
steady basis. It's to his address.
He buys a new part every week just to make sure he has it. But
yet my truck is still on the trails. And where are your guys' trucks?
Parked in the driveway
in front of yours.
Let's go around really quick and say, what do we drive?
Okay.
I want to hear what you guys are driving.
2019 Ford Ranger, best truck here.
Nice.
2018 Nissan Frontier Pro 4X.
Cool.
1994 Toyota Land Cruiser.
Nice, dude. Hard to find.
2014 Nissan Frontier 4X.
Yeah,
nice.
we're pretty eclectic. I've owned every all kinds of different vehicles. I have a tendency to swap vehicles out every couple years. This is the longest I've had a truck in a very long time. But I guess my point being is we've all done stuff to our vehicles, and whether it's a new truck that you're trying to replace a couple things or an old truck that you're trying to keep running, that process of buying parts is sometimes the barrier to entry, right? You know you got to do this work, but you don't want to search for the part. You don't want to call AutoZone. You don't want to go. You're like, I can't find it. It's not available. If I could just get it, I would do the work. But like you use the I can't get the part as the excuse to not do the work. And it sounds like what you're doing is eliminating that barrier so that obstacle's gone and people can get to what they need to do.
Yeah, and then for somebody like yourself, and I flip cars. It's another hobby of mine that I've been doing since I was.
I do too, but I physically flip them like on the road. I've physically done that.
I hope you're wearing your seatbelt.
I'm all about the Benjamins, man. So if I can make a quick flip, I'm all about that lifestyle. So I got a few cars, and each one of them needs love and attention. So the cool thing about the app also is that we made it into more of like a garage, right? So you can add multiple vehicles. You give them nicknames. For example, a daughter or a son is living cross country in a different state and they need to get an alternator replaced. Mom, dad, I don't know what to do. Well, let me go ahead and order it from the app and have it delivered to your
Oh, very
house
cool.
and have a local place install it for you, right? So you can have, you know, my car, wife's car, daughter's car, son's car.
Yeah.
And as we continue to evolve, like uh, we want to alleviate as much as possible. So we want to create like a maintenance program and give that out for free as well. Like we want to monitor your vehicles and give you the best deals. And so there's a lot of um, evolving to do within the app. So it's really great to see that people are onboarding early on, seeing the value in just the product, and then we actually bring them more value over the next few months.
I think a great idea, at least from my behalf, if we could alter the app for somebody that wants to adopt my car and then be help me out.
Just send you parts.
Just start sending me some parts,
I'm gonna
and
send Matt a starter this week.
yeah, it sounds well, it's things that I want or need.
Spark plugs.
But I
We need to create a
wish
GoFundMe
list.
format.
yeah.
Sure.
I do think that there is for some of the consumables and the maintenance items that you have on the app, oil filters, air filters, windshield wipers, whatever. So if you purchase that in January of 2023, there's some kind of algorithm that says, hey, you purchased an air filter. It's now been 3 months. You should probably get a new air filter, right? And that's the
3 months for an air filter?
When's the last time you changed the air filter in your car?
I just did it.
Yeah,
Hey, dude,
but
if
you
live
bought
in
it
Phoenix,
2 years ago.
Arizona. You know all about the dust. So
Yeah,
here it's kind of it's very standard to replace it every 3 months. And you're right, Cody. The most common parts. Our goal is to have that shipped out as well. So every 3 months you would get an oil filter package and just have it installed, right? So that way we take that guesswork out.
Yeah.
Or depending on how many miles, 3,000 miles or 5,000.
You could do a program that rhymes with schmug schmeib and schmave. Amazon subscribe and save, but I'm sure he can't use that because it's something but you could set it up to where like okay every 3 months I need my
you were
oil
speaking
filter.
German right there.
I thought you were having a stroke, dude.
No, I've never heard anything that sounds like that.
Jose does that all the
I
time.
was like, I did not know he stutters.
No,
I'm like,
no.
That's kind of
Like,
me.
Jose
stroke. Is he choking on his tongue?
Jose always does. What's it rhyme with? And he'll say something, and I tried to pull it
Yeah,
off,
but
and
it
it sounded
sounds-
like shit.
I thought you were doing an impression of the
Yeah,
Swedish
but
chef.
shame. How are we supposed
Yeah,
to
that
translate?
was a fail on my part. My point being is there's definitely a way to capture that customer on the initial purchase and then keep the hooks in for additional revenue growth and driving that the product movement on those regularly scheduled maintenance items.
Yeah, absolutely. So the goal is to create a membership model that, we give you more features. So you can do the search, you can download the app, you can keep track of all of your purchases. That's free and dandy and whatnot. But we also see a lot of value and an opportunity for us to give value that will really cut down on, the bottleneck that people go through when they're talking about maintenance or they're talking about specific things related to their cars. It's really exciting of what we're going to do and bring to the automotive industry, specifically for the do-it-yourselfers.
Relevant question. So literally last night, I spent over an hour trying to find the pilot and thermocouple assembly for my water heater because it keeps going out and I can't. Drove me nuts. I struggled because I couldn't on the manufacturer website. I found the cut sheet and it had a specific part number. I found everything except that specific part number. It was one digit off, and I ultimately went, you know what? It's $40. I'm going to buy it and see what happens. Does your app have the ability to cross-reference and provide alternatives? Like the Ford OEM is XYZ.
Right, buy a Chevy instead.
The Ford OEM is XYZ, but here's an aftermarket from, maybe not even aftermarket, but a comparable replacement parts.
Yeah, absolutely. So that cross-reference exists. So we have it actually embedded in our Parts Detect app. So people can, mechanics specifically can go in there, put in a part number, OEM, it'll cross-reference and show you search results. We don't have that yet for the Parts Pass version. So again, every week, we're trying to launch new features, and that's one of the features that we have on our ICE board, as we call it.
because I can see that being going back to the distribution network. Casey's in Big Bear, California, and he needs this part, and the OEM part number is X, and it's only available in Denver. But right down the street is a comparable replacement for a couple dollars more that's available for next day shipping. You know what I mean? And being able to cross-reference that off of the, OEM model would be huge to open up the amount of products available, I guess.
Yeah, it's also hard because a lot of the car parts don't have a number on them, right? So a lot of, for example, water pump, you really have to kind of look at it. Brake pads, you don't have a brake,
Yeah.
right? So some of them don't have them. And we actually looked into the AI possibility of taking a picture of an actual part and have that cross-reference. It's very challenging, is what we discovered after putting a lot of time into research. It's mainly because, again, it's only as smart as you feed it, right? So you have to upload hundreds of thousands of images of different car parts. The challenge there is that a lot of car parts are dirty, broken, so it's hard for that AI to pick it up. So that's one of the challenges that we can't overcome quite yet, but we'll see what happens in the near future.
And I think that it's so three-dimensional that you could have a brake pad that is similar height and width, but it's, a 30-second deeper than the other one, and that could make it not fit, I guess is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? There's a lot more to that. And it's always so random. Like, what's that?
So that's what I would name my band if I had one, a 30-second deeper.
That one sucked.
They'll never play Coachella, I'll tell you
One
that.
30-second deeper.
I get it.
It's got to be your bull.
The cross references, though, I mean, to me, that's an even almost bigger database than the original database of parts from OEMs.
Yeah, we got it though. We got it. We found success, so we crossed it over with Parts Detect through 5 different suppliers. So you can put an OE in there. We'll get it through AutoZone, Napa, CarQuest, Advanced. So that's what we do there. We do that really well. So yeah, we'll bringing it over to the DIY to PartsPass. But again, we're focusing, like, after tons of research, focusing on the top 10 cars that are serviced by do-it-yourselfers, top 10 parts that are replaced. So focusing in on that while also catering to every single other person. Again, eyes on the prize is for us the priority. But we've also seen an influx of users that are small repair shops. So, the fact of just to do-it-yourselfers, that's our primary user, but also we've seen quite a bit of interesting characters that have downloaded the application as well.
Go
Number one on that, the vehicles that need most parts, Ford. I guarantee you it's a Ford.
Something
They need
about
the
the
most
Ranger, man.
parts.
Is there like how far back does your database go? You said and then also how far forward? You say you're constant, like every week, bi-weekly, you're doing updates and adding. So like brand new models, as far as I have a 1964 such and such. Is that gonna say
Those are sweet.
Dude, those are
Yeah.
when those came out, man, they set the world on fire. Right next to the so and so, it was like the such and such and the so and so, and they went back and forth in the races.
Yeah, as you know, the parts become more and more scarce the older a car gets, right? So even though we have a database that goes back into the early 50s, the chances of parts being available for that vehicle is extremely difficult. So I've seen orders come through for Chevy trucks 72, 73.
Yeah.
So definitely possible, because again, as long as we have that inventory, we're displaying it. If we don't, then we'll show you sorry, no search results, and try it again.
Yeah.
I remember in high school, like talking to my auto shop teacher, he was like, there's different, depending on, so Mopar, was like, they're hard to find parts for. People just don't, whatever. There's no aftermarket avenues in that regard. Ford and Chevy being, easier to find parts for. And that was his sales point for owning a Chevy, because he's like, you could probably go to Thrifties and get like an oil filter and, if you need a water pump for a 350, you can find those anywhere.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's just admitting that it's constantly going to be broken, and you're going to need to go to Thrifties, right?
Yeah.
But you can pick up some ice cream while you're there.
The
So
reason-
that's
Thrifty's
awesome.
ice cream,
The
man.
reason you
Half
didn't-
and half dip.
The reason you didn't find Mopar parts is because they never broke down. Nobody needed them.
Then what was the excuse for my dart that I was always working on? But again, like it's kind of an interesting thing when you think about the availability of parts, especially on older vehicles. Like, well, yeah, if it's a Chevy or a Ford, you're probably going to find those parts. If it's a Mopar or something else that's rare, good luck. Let's
Yeah,
start.
keep in mind whether or not you have a hot rod or a vintage vehicle, it's not your daily driver, right? Most people have a daily driver and a nice little weekend ride or a project car, right? So we're focusing on that daily driver that needs the service because it's accumulating miles a lot quicker than what you have stashed away on a weekend rider. And also, I want to double click on the fact that what the pandemic taught us, right? When the borders started closing down, you can't get these parts anymore from China because now things are going to get a lot more strange between the foreign policy between the states and China in general. So what we focus on again is quality parts that come from Europe, that come from Korea, that come from South America, right? Because these are original parts in Canada and Mexico as well. So we saw an influx in sales during that time with Parts Detect, and that translated over to my thought process with Parts Pass is that people want the availability of their parts sourced locally, and not worrying about what's going to happen once sanctions start taking over again between the U.S. and other countries.
That was Jose, I think, during the pandemic. Was he needed oil filters, and he was panicked because so he just got a bunch of coffee filters and like a Coke can and made something out of that, because again he couldn't get the filter he needed.
I think Jose just disrupted a $1 billion company. Do you want to come work for us?
Those are trail chaser secrets. I can't divulge.
I'm telling you, man, you want to work on my team.
Yeah, he doesn't want to work on this team.
Is it work?
No, you guys have a lot more fun here than what we do, honestly.
You'd mentioned focusing on.
We don't get paid much, so at least we can have some fun.
It's negative income.
Yeah, I think I lose money
every week. Every week. You'd mentioned like the focusing on the big hitters, the top 10 parts, the top 10 vehicles. What is the if you had to lay that out in general, what would be the most searched for parts or most searched for vehicle in the app?
Yeah, so just off the top of my head, the Ford F-150s are extremely popular. Chevy Silverados, every truck in the U.S. is extremely popular because they're workhorses, right? People use them on a daily basis, and then you have your Nissan Altimas, your Toyota Camrys, Corollas, Hondas.
And
those are
I would
mainly
expect
the vehicles.
Sorry to cut you off. I would expect those full size pickups. One, they're the best selling vehicle in America, and two, the age of those vehicles on the road. Like you're still seeing 85 F-150s and 99 F-150s still on the road. So it's not. I would say with that demographic, it's a workhorse of a vehicle that is probably, to your point, above average in years and mileage, and they're keeping it running because it's they love their truck. It just needs a new alternator.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's one of the cool things about it is like we're focusing on a very niche kind of market with the North Star of being kind of like who is our user and what do they drive, right? So we want to make sure that we position ourselves for success by bringing value to our end users, and seems like we're doing a good thing there.
The PartsPass.app only available on iOS. You said it's going to roll out to Android when?
End of July. Fingers crossed.
Any thoughts on making it web based as well, like a internet web based interface as opposed to using a mobile app?
Yeah, absolutely. So mobile usage is just growing every single year, every single month, every single day. It's a lot more affordable than people having to rely on a computer. Desktops are expensive, laptops are expensive. So that's why we went mobile first. And everyone has a phone as opposed to like who has a computer, right?
Yeah, and 9 times out of 10, you're in the garage on your phone. God damn, this piece of shit. Now I need a new part, and you're like right there from your phone, right? So
again, speaking from the Ford owner perspective, this piece of shit I gotta buy now.
look, I'm not the one that called me yesterday and said, "Do you have an OBD2 diagnostic thing because my car has a problem and I don't know what it is because it got wet and now the lights are on."
I don't know who OBD is. He's like the wide receiver from somewhere, right?
No,
sorry.
You're the one that texted me. Yeah, you're the one that said you needed a diagnostic tool because you're
not from you.
Oh, okay.
I didn't.
Okay.
Did I?
Yes,
you did.
Cody. Remember those words?
I didn't need it from you.
You texted me.
I asked if you had one.
You asked if I had a diagnostic tool because your car got wet
I didn't
and now
use it.
lights are on.
I didn't use it. Yours.
All right.
Hey, let's just be real. Because, never mind.
So, I guess my point being, I don't know what my point was.
What is your point?
I don't know what my point was.
I just want to make fun of Matt and his truck.
Yes. You were trying to pick on me, and the car's broken down. As the app grows and new features get rolled out, how are you notifying users? Is it just through the notifications on the mobile app?
Yeah. So we do in-app notifications. Every time a new feature comes out, we want to notify people as well. So that's the ultimate way. We also have a sign up that you can do through the bottom of PartsPass app. On the bottom, you just pop in your email. We'll give you the latest and greatest, keep you in the loop, and we have some pretty cool content that we share as well within the industry. That we'll be rolling out here soon as well. So kind of like newsletters every few weeks. So people can sign up on PartsPass.app towards the bottom of the screen, pop in your email, and stay connected that way.
As an entrepreneur, you put blood, sweat, and tears into this. Has the growth and adoption of the app met your expectations? Are you happy with where it's at now?
We're still treading softly because, again, our goal is to pour gasoline on the fire. So the flame is definitely lit right now. Going into the new year, we have some cool things up our sleeves. We're looking at some cool promotions with the Super Bowl here in the next couple months, and working with some really cool people. But it's still fairly new for us. But going over the numbers on a daily basis, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine with the number of vehicles on the road here in America, your user base is endless. I mean, there are there's millions of people that could use this app. I think the challenge is then getting it in front of them and having them use it. What kind of things have you done to get out into the community other than coming on a stupid podcast with us? Have you been at any trade shows or anything like that?
Yeah, so with again, since we're fairly new, we have a pretty clean canvas to work at, right? But from my experience with Parts Detect, we go to SEMA every single year. We have a booth set up there. We get to engage with industry experts, leaders, and just customers. Now we're focusing on throughout the year is just marketing, really getting in front of our users, creating pretty cool YouTube videos, doing the whole TikTok thing, the YouTube Reels, YouTube Shorts, Facebook, and in-app, in the App Store, we're doing some cool marketing there as well. Overall, it's just like really, you got to pay to play. Unfortunately, it doesn't come easy. You guys know that, right? Getting your logo, your company in front of people, getting your listeners, it's very challenging. But I know that marketing works, and it works pretty well. You just need to really pay attention to it and turn the knobs. And I am currently the face of the company. I am on the front stage, so I'm doing whatever my team tells me to do as far as for marketing, right? So they say, "Hey, jump," I say, "How high?" And they're like, "Okay, we got a podcast with this group," so I'm like, "Let's do it, let's rock."
And you went,
it's
"What?
all in.
This is who?" I'm not.
Can-
I'm
can
not
you- How much
logging
am I
on
getting
to
paid
that.
Can you help turn the trail chaser knobs or whatever? Like, and help.
I'm pretty sure our knobs are all worn down and like stripped out.
I
They
didn't even-
don't. They don't do anything anymore. You can twist them all you want.
I didn't know we had knobs.
No, knobs have been gone for a long time. So podcasts. Do you have? Are you like? So TikTok and YouTube and that stuff, so time consuming. It's a lot of work, right? It takes it's a full-time gig. I mean, are you allowing the marketing team to develop the framework of what the content's going to look like, and then you just execute it, or you have to participate in those strategy conversations to figure out where you want to go next?
Yeah, so I feel like I have a pretty good eye when it comes down to marketing designs. I think through every single part of my day, whether it's what I'm wearing, what I'm driving, how I'm communicating with people. For me, appearance is extremely important, and that kind of transitions into the marketing message itself. My wife is a influencer, and she is a marketing guru herself. We have some friends that are very talented in marketing. They're very successful. So it kind of just like everywhere you look, it's all about marketing and colors and whatnot. So in the beginning, when I onboarded our team that is in charge of marketing, I wanted to make sure that what I envisioned was the North Star in a sense, right? I need to know that they see my vision because I know the industry really, really well. And I need to make sure that they can communicate my message through content. It took a while, honestly. It took me about 5 different interviews before I found the people that are now a part of our team.
Yeah, I mean that's a huge investment, and my wife's in marketing, and the team that you collaborate with will eventually be the voice of the brand in some way, based on how they drive the message, and I think that's a very, very important decision, especially for something that's a startup like this that's got a huge future in front of it. You gotta kick it off correctly to get there. What's next? What do you think, as you look to the next 30 days, 90 days, 120 days, what kind of milestones are out in front of you that you want to try to accomplish, or things that you want to see?
It's a good question. Time just goes by so quickly. So 30, 60 days. I mean,
That's what I was going to say. Like 30, 60 days. I thought you'd ask like
Yeah,
in the next
one,
year
two-
to 5 years.
The next time
You
we
basically asked him what he's going to have for dinner tomorrow
look,
or
the-
whatever.
I'm like, I'm going to go to the gym a couple times.
Yeah,
I'm gonna hit the sauna.
the next time we have him on in 2024, when he's got 5 billion users, then we can talk about the 5-year plan, right? But I feel
Cody,
I feel like
he ain't gonna come back on this show.
no, he won't come back on this show. But I feel like 2
I
months.
promise you, I will.
2 months after launch, I feel like there's a lot of opportunity to, there's a lot of things going on that need to be addressed in a short period of time. Like, and I'm just curious to know if you've thought about that.
Yeah, no, I think about it every single day, right? And one of the quotes that I believe in is by Ben Horowitz. And he said, as a startup founder, I slept like a baby. And that means that I woke up every couple of hours and I cried, right? So as the more you have on your shoulders, the heavier you feel. And if you can deal with it, because it's emotionally draining, it's an emotional roller coaster, but you get up and you do it. I can't imagine what people like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, well, more Elon Musk, not so much Jeff Bezos, go through on a daily basis, where you have multiple operations and multiple people that are reporting to you, and you're like the savior, as you label yourself, of the world and mankind in a sense, right? So for me, these are petty problems compared to what this guy goes through. But I do think about the product, and I think about where will we be over the next few months, and we have opportunities that are just absolutely fantastic, meaning that we can expand our catalogs and not just be catering to the automotive industry, but focusing on tractor trailers for the farming industry, focusing on heavy duty, light duty vehicles like semis, right? There's a lot of independent repair facilities along the interstates of the country that just don't have the accessibility to parts. But we have the opportunity to expand our catalogs because we have partners that want to work with us, but we're not there yet. We really want to nail down the user experience and the product before we start expanding into different catalogs.
And I feel like this is something like once you, to your point, once you nail it, once you feel like, yes, this is solid, the ability to then transition that model to HVAC parts. Matt and I come from the HVAC world, and you know how many technicians are on their phone searching on Grainger trying to find the right part? Like that in itself, plumbing, air conditioning, any of the trades. There's so many applications that have a similar need to people repairing their vehicles, to where you could take this entire platform, change out the parts numbers, and the interface already works, the UI is all good, the experience is what people want. I really feel like it is there's no end to the amount of work. Like, again, stupid example, last night when I'm on my computer trying to find that stupid part for my water heater, like I went to 28 different websites trying to find the part, and I just ordered it off of Amazon, and honestly, I'm going to try to plug it in tomorrow, see what happens. I don't even know if it's the right part. But I feel like you've got a lot of opportunity out in front of you, and you sound like the kind of guy that's not going to leave any opportunity sitting on the floor. You're going to go after it.
Yeah. Well, thanks. As long as, again, the team is there, I'll be the captain of the ship in a sense, right? The hardest part is actually bringing all that data and simplifying it. And what we learned from Parts Detect is that each one of the suppliers that we work with has their own way of decoding a vehicle. And that's a pain in the ass, honestly. The first supplier will go year, make, model, engine size. The second supplier will go make, model, year, engine size. The last guy will go engine size, year, make, model. What?
Yeah, well, look,
so
you should get Matt.
Yeah.
Matt will tell you he can do pivot tables like nobody's business. It's just one big Excel pivot table.
Dude, I can't.
It took a long time.
He's trying to roast me right now, but I can put in a pivot table
I'm
together.
being 100% serious that you know how to use pivot tables.
All right, thank you.
It took a long time for the auto industry to go from those magazines where they had to look up make, model, and all that, to computers, to now mobile applications. And what's next?
I would just like to say I do remember those magazines, and I do remember Chilton's.
Yeah,
Haynes manuals. If you had to look up parts,
you know what would be cool? I don't even know if this is a thing, but
I also remember Thomas guides.
Yes, if you had similar to like a QR reader where you could scan the VIN, on the inside door, driver's door of the vehicle, scan the VIN number, and it pops up and goes, that is a 1978 Plymouth Duster. Like boom, 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 all of the models. It knows what air conditioning system. Like it pulls all that database out. I don't know if that exists, but it's
we have it on the Parts Detect. We have one of the things is like you can scan the VIN number, and we have a VIN decoder, so you can take a picture of the VIN, and it'll decode year, make, model, engine size. Again, we went mobile first because we knew that the VIN number is a fingerprint of the car.
Yeah.
Right. But then you have some suppliers like the Chevy Silverado. They don't have a barcode. Right. It's in the window. It's in the windshield. So by the time you take a photo, it's a pain in the ass.
Chevy.
So then we launched a manual entry of the VIN number. So we gave three different options to our users. You can do a manual entry. You can take a picture of the VIN number, or you can do a part number cross-reference, or a manually entry of the VIN number. So all that we explored firsthand, and now we're bringing all the lessons that we've learned into a completely different platform.
See, he's got it all figured out. Well, look, I'm super impressed just with your the backstory that we didn't get a chance to explore a lot of, but just the story of you and your family, and how the evolution of I hate cars to working in the car shop, to taking over the family business, to now growing into this entrepreneur that's got multiple operations running and trying to figure things out. And it's just a very...
It has everything to do with cars.
Yeah, it's just a very cool progression story of where you started and where you're at now. And I'm very, very interested in seeing what PartsPass does next. And I'm sure these guys, because they all have iPhones, I'm sure these guys will all be downloading the app after this. And
I could have used the app yesterday, as a matter of fact. All right.
But yeah, so we'll definitely keep an eye on it. Is there anything else you want the listeners to know, other than go to PartsPass.app to learn more about it, or download it off the iOS store?
Honestly, I want to express the the possibilities. If anyone is questioning what they want to do with their occupation, go into software by all means, and stay within the automotive industry because the service industry is going to be strong. Um, yeah, I also believe that the American dream is still very much alive. So for all of you couch potatoes, get up, get out there, make a change, make a difference, leave the place, leave this world a better place than you found it. Keep hustling, don't stop.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. I appreciate it. And we look forward to having you back next year when the app is blown up and you've got more users than you know what to do with.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Circle back.
Thanks, man. Have a great night.
Thanks,
All right,
Dan.
guys.
See ya.
Thanks, fellas.
All right.
Did everybody feel like he was staring right at them when he said, "Get off the couch"? I was like,
Okay, I'll go back to school and finish my CS degree.
Excuse me, sir. I have a recliner. I don't sit on the
he looked me
couch.
dead in the eye.
By the way, we're still live, but I love the fact that I love the fact that he just reached through the computer and poked Jose in the forehead. All right, so logistically, I will. I'll clip this together. I'll edit it tomorrow after work. We'll get it edited and ready to go, and then I will upload it to our media host tomorrow night for download on Thursday morning. I will send you an email once it's uploaded and ready to go, and I'll create some social media stuff for it and send that out, and then we'll do our part to promote it on our side. Feel free to promote it on your side. And and whatever we can do to help drive business your way, let us know. It seems, again, obviously I haven't used it because I don't have an iPhone, but it seems like something that is one of those apps you have on your phone because you know you're going to need it, and then it's boom, it's ready to go when you go. And then someone like Casey that works in a shop and does this all day long, I think it'd be a huge benefit to him.
Oh yeah, it's gonna get used.
So yeah, let us know. I'll send you all my contact information. If there's anything we can do to help, anything we can help promote, just please do not hesitate to reach out.
Okay, I'll take you up on that. Thanks for the offer.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, man. Have a great night.
Thanks, Dan.
All right, fellas.
Goodbye.
See ya.
See ya.
All right, guys. We are
We're gonna
gonna
log to the other meeting.
Yeah, log out of this meting and log into the other meeting.
Those on YouTube. This is all technical
yeah,
stuff.
you could stay right there on YouTube.
You know,
could
just sit back.
So
and
you're
be
saying go back to the email I was at.
Yeah.
That was good. Just be amazed.
Yo.
Hello. Casey beat us here.
I already knew where the email was. That's where I went to first.
What's up, Nestor?
Oh man, I'm here.
Are you? Yeah.
You see my bags? You see my bags?
So just for everybody on YouTube on this live stream and or for listening to this is
everybody's got to be freaking the hell out right now because that's the first time we've ever done anything.
Yeah.
Like that.
So we just finished up an interview, great conversation with Stan. And then over the course of this last week, it sounds like Nestor and Matt have been going back and forth on some stuff. And Nestor was like, "Hey, man, I need some time." So we set this up for you to call in. What's going on, man? But a backstory. Go back to a handful.
A few months ago? No.
A couple episodes. A handful of episodes ago, we had
Yeah.
Camacho Motorsports on, talking about their KOH run. I'm going to try to look up what episode it was right now. But you've got I'm assuming a ton of shit going on right now. What's been
That's
going
an understatement. That's
episode
significant
250.
understatement there.
So episode 250 he came on. So what's going on?
No, just wanted to give everybody an update. The car is coming along.
Okay.
I will be at KOA.
Because you were at 30%,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
Yeah, I was saying, the last time we spoke, it was 30%.
We're at 30.
He's at 45.
We're at 33%.
I mean, we were
3 weeks
probably
left.
at 50% like a week ago, so we're at 80% now.
I'd like to see that spreadsheet.
I was going to
please.
say that I'm not confident in that estimate at all. You sound like one of my project managers in my construction company that's like, yeah, we're 80% done.
How did you get so much done so quick? OSHA violations.
No, I mean, in all actuality, the truck is actually coming along really nicely. The problem is that we had it all together. I don't know if you guys have been following like our Instagram or Facebook, but the truck was pretty put together about 2 weeks ago, and literally we said, "All right, it's good enough." We tore the whole thing apart. I mean, literally everything came
That seems
out
like
of
a
that
bad
car.
idea.
Yeah, it's an awful idea. Don't ever do it. We literally tore the whole truck apart and went through everything head to toe, top to bottom, sealed everything, make sure it was within spec, and then rebolted everything, threw our electrical back in, redid a couple things here and there, painted the whole interior of the truck, painted the whole chassis of the truck. So now we're on the final stages where uh, I think today we put in all the coolers, all the final electrical, fuel tank went in. So over the next 2 days or so, we're gonna do full plumbing and get the axles back under that truck. So in the next 2 to 3 days, we should have it under its own weight,
Oh wow.
theoretically. Um, Now I'm not releasing the videos or pictures yet. I'm gonna probably put a couple teasers here and there, but the wrap is gonna come out really nice.
Oh nice.
Over the last couple of months, I guess the last time we spoke was in November. Um, we we now have a lot more people on board. Um, Mickey Thompson's are now our lead
nice.
tire tire of choice. We will be running their tire if you decided to do the 37 Baja Boss.
Nice.
So they are our primary partners. Works Fuel Systems. Very honored to have them run our entire fuel system. Hi, we were looking for companies, and we picked that kind of really specific companies to work with that will make us get to the end. To get, because
Yeah.
were you guys able to see that episode first? It just got released on King of the Hammers production.
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so go to YouTube right now and watch it. It's only like a 3-minute video.
No. Go after this show.
Yeah, after
Okay, I'm
this
sorry.
show.
After the show. But for those who are watching, click it, save it, watch afterwards. So one of the things that they were announced that Dave announced during that race was like, and it's. I remember him mentioning this, but I kind of forgot about it. But he reiterated in this video, and it's still drilled in my head. You can have the perfect team, you can have the perfect car, and there's still only a 25% chance of completing the race.
Mm-hmm.
So, because of that, we decided to go with very specific teams. Mickey Thompson being one of them.
Yeah.
Works because they're incredible fuel systems and high-end fittings and stuff like that, like super reliable. Willwood Brakes. Who else? Dynamic Drive Lines are doing our drive shafts. We personally saw this stuff in person. Extremely impressive. Like I could talk numbers with them because it's incredible what their stuff is. We have Vision Wheels, our primary wheel choice. There's a bunch of title sponsors that just jumped on board. Given that it is a Nissan, given that we are doing a lot more that the Toyota guys aren't doing, but we're just so it's come a long way. We it's uh, the amount of hours that has been crammed in the last 2 months is absolutely mind-boggling.
Oh, I can imagine.
I get up at 5 every day, and I go home at like 9, 10 o'clock every night, and that's just straight working on the truck, nothing else, just only working on the truck.
But that's
for
like
the last-
East Coast time, right? So it's like it equates to like
It's like 4 hours in California.
4 or
time.
5 hours West Coast time. Yeah, that's my understanding of how time works.
I guess that's how California people think.
Pretty much.
But yeah, it's like it's crazy to think that I'm putting that much time and effort into a vehicle that, in all honesty, to be honest, don't ever try to complete this in 6 months. No way.
Oh no.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever done. When it comes to the time wise, I should have
Once
spent
you're
a
on that
little
lake
more.
bed, it'll be the smartest thing
it'll be
you've ever
worth
done.
it. It'll be worth
Probably. Well,
No, it
there's
will
one way to
be.
find out. Yeah, I mean, are you guys gonna be there?
Yeah.
it. We will be there.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay, so I hope you guys make sure that you come by and check the truck out in person. We're still on the fence. We're actually gonna be in Hammertown in the garage section route. It just depends on how everything, because the garage spots are limited.
If you're in Hammertown, the likelihood that we come by is it goes down a little bit because it's
A
like
little bit, Matt?
a lot of it, because I always describe like going into Hammertown specifically. One time it was like dusk, the sun was setting, and it's constantly dusty, and it looked like the scene out of Star Wars where there's like that battle in the desert and you can't really see things, but you can see laser blasts going and an occasional person on a dirt bike avoiding those laser blasts. That's what it's like.
There's a lot of howling that goes on. Too.
There's a lot of howling and it's very it's intimidating.
We should go into Hammertown Heights, fully dressed up as the Sand People. Like,
We wouldn't be out of place.
yeah.
Well, after a couple of weeks of being on that lake bed, you just automatically become a sand
sand
person.
people.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, so I mean, we don't know yet. As of right now, we're pretty sure we're gonna be out of the Hammertown, but again, any last minute decisions might change. We are leaving on the 29th from Florida and getting there on the 31st.
That's a long
It's
trip.
an aggressive
that's
driving
a
schedule.
2 days.
No, well, leaving 29th, 2 o'clock in the morning, Eastern time.
You get like
time
5
travel.
hours. Yeah, you get
That's
an extra
right.
5 hours
forgot.
easily.
Plus-
I forget.
Nissans go faster than
Yeah,
the speed of
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you leave at 2 o'clock in the morning Eastern time, it's technically the day before
I think technically
here.
you show up tomorrow is the way
Yes.
the way it works. Time travel and
exactly.
the way the Earth rotates and shit like that.
So
Did you guys figure out your
It spins
trailer
horizontally 'cause it's
situation?
flat.
As far as like what everyone's staying in?
I'll be honest with you, it's been a hellish couple of weeks. We've had a lot of people drop out because of medical or family issues. So because of that, our trailer situation has gone up and down like a lot. As of right now, we do have a trailer to get the truck out there. It's the secondary truck we have 50-50 on, whether it's going to get on the road or not. We were going to have 3 trucks. We were able to narrow everything down to 2 trucks because we don't need a third one. Because we were able to. So we're working with 2 other teams: Godfrey Fabworks and Far Motorsports, and then MCI Raceworks. So all 4 of us are coordinating of what can bring what and who can bring what and stuff like that. So because of that, it allowed us to lower, basically our tool sets and stuff like that. And now we don't have to bring as much equipment. So because of that, we're now down to 2 trucks. So trailer situation is sort of fitted. We're still, again, until we actually leave, we don't know what's going to happen. The other bad crazy thing that's going to happen is that we need to rush here to the 29th and must be in Austin, Texas by that night. So that's a 18 plus hour drive. So yeah, so we have to be there because on the 30th in the morning, I think we're going to try to be there earlier, but 9 o'clock in the morning, we have to be at Uprev Tuning, which is one of our sponsors, to dyno tune the truck.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like extremely aggressive scheduling there.
I mean, it is. It absolutely, but it's the only way we were able to get everything to work. So we're like, we just have to suck it up and do it, no matter how hard it is.
Yeah, the funny thing is before I even got on the road, I'd be like, I'm not going to be in Austin in 18 hours. Like it's just, there's no possible way. I got 6 hours in me. After that, I'm sleeping. Like it's.
Oh man, no.
This is
I'm a. If I'm set in my mind, I'm gonna get somewhere. I'm just gonna go and just whatever it takes to get there. I'm gonna get there. So we have a couple of drivers. We have my co-drivers flying in to Orlando to help drive out, and then we have our buddy from South Carolina. Um, Darren is gonna come down and drive out there, and then possibly Joel, my other friend who's also going to help out, going to go out there. So it's four. So it's two per truck at least minimum that we can interchange and swap drivers throughout the entire thing. So it should alleviate a lot of the stress of driving. But still, it's 18 hours.
So when you guys might have already covered this, when do you run it? Hammers, like what's race day?
So qualifying, now write this down. Make sure you know.
It's gonna be the Friday that we're there, Matt.
Oh,
So yeah, it's a Friday. Friday is the 10th. We're racing. That's our EMC race. On the 7th, on the Tuesday, we qualify. So both of those times we'll be there. We'll be pre-running the entire time beforehand. Those are the 2 days that we will be for 100% sure. Those are the ones you're gonna watch out for.
And how many? What's your crew look like? How many people are going to be there working with you to keep this thing going?
That's a great question. Let me pull up the spreadsheet because it's been changing. Like I said, daily. Like it's been wild 2 weeks. I mean, I get it. There's a lot of other commitments that everybody else has. So
I mean, look, if it comes down to it, me and Matt are Nissan guys. If you need to just ship the car out here, we will make sure that it gets in the race.
Well, good. At least I have.
I was
extra
going to
team
suggest that
members.
he could. I was going to suggest that he could ship stuff here that he didn't want to put on the truck. He could UPS a bunch of stuff to my house, and we'll take it out there. We'll take it out there with us.
So all right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We did have 18 at one point.
Wow.
So it has been dwindling down. Then that might go down to 9.
Is that enough? I mean, is that going to cover all your bases?
So because we partnered up with those other teams, everybody's team, we're actually going to share one common pit.
Okay.
So because there's 3 teams simultaneously, 2 of us definitely fit one pit. The third one is we're just gonna make one large pit, and we're gonna have both trucks, all 3 trucks, be there because Godfrey Fabworks, they are the UTV class and they raced the day before.
Got it.
Oh,
So
I was
we
gonna
are
say,
help them.
are these all vehicles running the same class, or they're just different?
Different classes.
I see. Good.
MCI and me are running 4500. Far Motorsports are running 4600, and then Godfrey is running UTV the day before. So we staggered it on purpose. We wanted to help each other out. Excuse me, and then in order to do that, we got to make sure that we're not racing the same day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So.
What's your? I know your answer is going to be, but what's your confidence level on having that truck on a trailer on the 29th?
Oh, that's like, it's there. It's gonna be there one way or another. It's gonna be running under its own power onto that trailer.
Okay, so this is a podcast. So he did a hand gesture, and he said it's like he's above his head, like it's happening. That's how it's like confirmed. That's like a semi salute. Like
yeah,
it's gonna happen.
Let's go over there, Captain.
Okay.
So yeah, no, it'll be there. So I've been thankful to have a family in mechanics. So my dad and my uncle have been nonstop for the last 2 weeks, just with me while I weld and fabricate. They're doing the electrical, plumbing, setting everything up, creating the dashboard. I mean, we all used to build ambulances, and I used to design them. So we have
That's funny. I've ridden in a bunch of ambulances. I mean, we're almost the same person.
I was going to say, you know, that's great that your family of mechanics all get together to like help you out. I have a family of air conditioning guys, and I needed like my refrigerant like topped off at my house, and it was like pulling fucking teeth to get one of the 5 brothers I have that do this shit. So kudos to you, sir.
So yeah, I mean, it's been a struggle also for like just getting this thing done because of the fact that every single one of us in this team is not in Florida. Only one guy is in Florida, and he's in Jack. He's 2.5 hours away. So that's not terrible, but he's one of the ones that dropped out recently because, you know, issues medically and stuff like that. So I know he wasn't going to be able to help out too much, at least in the truck, but he was helping out in a whole bunch of other different ways.
Look, if you have any ailments, you know, of any kind, you don't want to go to Hammer. You don't want to go to Hammertown with like...
Don't show up there weak.
Yeah.
If you show up to Hammertown in a weakened state, you're
not coming out.
You know how you see those National Geographics videos where like all the antelopes take off and there's the one lame one?
They pounce on the one, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to be that broken-legged antelope because the leopard is going to get your shit.
Yoga before you get there.
Oh, man.
You better eat your Wheaties and stretch.
That's right. Please stretch.
I'm going to sleep on the route out.
You're going to pull a hand.
I'll give you guys a fit. I'm just going to sleep on the way out.
Everybody work on... What's your calisthenic plan?
Yeah. Oh, no.
Like, make sure that everybody's, you know, got their heart rate going. You're ready to go. Like, be loose. Yeah. Be loose.
Yeah. It was funny because, like...
I just ordered my multivitamins just to get ready for Hammers.
So, one of the funny things is we actually have our own chiropractor flying out there.
Ooh, really? I need that guy.
Yeah, so come on by our garage and he'll be ready for
He's
you.
Gonna be, Okay, Matt, I need your help on this one. He's going to be the doctor from Cannonball Run.
Right. It's just injecting people. Everybody around him's happy, though. Like, I agree with that. Well, I need one of those guys.
Crazy Einstein hair with a needle just shooting everybody up.
With one eye that's shooting off to the right. Always. Yes. Oh, that's great. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I figured we're all going to be pretty screwed up, so why not bring your own chiropractor out there?
God bless you, sir.
Yes. Like any listeners out there that are chiropractors, you're welcome to come on the trip.
Free of charge.
Yeah.
Just you can sleep in my tent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care.
Yeah,
I got room.
It's fun. It's gonna be pretty crazy. It's been a wild ride. So over the next every Tuesday, the King of Hammers YouTube, they'll be releasing episodes of what, as a rookie, what it takes to get to King of Hammers, what the whole program is, and it's way more intense than anybody can imagine. I mean, getting to King as it is hard as a regular racer.
Yeah.
But to do it from a nobody, from a small town that you have especially from Florida.
On the other side of the country.
Yeah. Exactly.
Who's the farthest possible away?
Yeah, it's like, it is a feat that, like, is so difficult, so incredibly difficult that, like, nobody really understands it. So part of the things of the Hammer crew is doing is putting these documentaries put together of all of us racers that are entering this race and ups and downs and stuff like that. I'm gonna be flat out honest. I had an emotional breakdown the other week. Like, it was just so stressful, incredibly stressed that I was like, I'm done. I'm gonna quit. I'm done. I'm gonna just give this up. Just done. But it's just like you have to overcome it because it's just that crazy difficult.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure it's a roller coaster, and then you get exhausted, right?
Yeah.
You get fully exhausted from the amount of hours you're putting in, and then you look at the spreadsheet that says you're 80% done, but you're only 65% done, and you got all that work to do.
Yeah, just because you fill out that spreadsheet doesn't make it happen.
Dude, I'm telling you, that's the project managers I used to work with. They were like,
man.
We're 65% done. You're 110% of your costs. How can you be 65% done?
I always reference, like, in my past, like you get those jobs that are just like, I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna make this happen. This is almost impossible, and you dread like but you do. But you still think like I always think back to that cartoon. It was like from the 30s or 40s where this guy had like a bakery, and then it was like he was super poor and broke, and he was like about to go out of business, and then all of a sudden, a bunch of gnomes show up one night and fill his bakery full of cakes and pies. And I'm like, God damn it! I wish there was like a equivalent to construction where I just show up in the morning and all that equipment and ductwork got installed. That'd be amazing.
Was it the Underpants Gnomes from South Park?
They were not the Underpants Gnomes. I don't know the specific. All I can say is it was a cartoon I probably saw when I was 12 years old.
I have
In
no
the
idea.
40s?
Well, it was. Yes, Jose. I'm a time traveler.
So what's
Anyhow, just find yourself some gnomes and finish
Yes.
off the vehicle. That's basically what I was saying.
what is the so what's next? Like where do you feel like you got to put your next focus, and what do you need?
Man, that's a good question. Are you part of the Hammers crew? Because they ask me these damn hard questions all the time, and I don't know how to answer them.
Yeah,
Yes.
Hammers doesn't want anything to do with me. They're like, no, that guy's.
I mean, I guess my drive right now is getting to the lake bed and showing, you know, what I can do and what we can do. After that is I'm gonna play by ear. You know, I'm gonna go. If all goes well, I'll continue trying to attempt these races. Not just Hammers, but Ultra 4. Just for Hammers, if we go back to Hammers, only like all I'm looking for is support. Like just watch it, see it, you know, believe it. You know, just be out there and kind of like help support us, and we what's it called? If you're gonna go to Hammers, make sure you pick, you know, Team Camacho Motorsports. Pick my name, and that helps support us little by little. So if you want to go and just buy your tickets, make sure you click on our name, and then I mean that's really all we're asking for. Just exposure to see like, hey, you know, this is what we're gonna try to do. This is the first one that's ever attempted. Big update. Forgot, you just reminded me of it. There's a bigger rule change in my class in the last month. So they changed the rule book.
That seems very last minute for teams that have spent 2 years trying to build a truck. They're like, you know what?
We can only have 3 wheels.
Yes, you know we've decided you got to drive the whole thing backwards.
Steering, right?
That's the steering. It was a big rule change because of the double-ended hydro assist, or hydraulic rams. So in the past, people take it and bent that rule and said, hey, there's a mechanical link. Technically, because the hydraulic ram, the double-ended ram, is a mechanical link. And all you had to do was put a drag link. However, this year, it says that if they disconnect the hoses or disconnect the ram out of the system, it still has to be able to turn. So, because of that, a lot of teams that were in the 4500 class now have one of 2 options: either re-engineer your steering or bump up to the next class.
Oh wow!
So, because of that, from what I've seen, now I could be 100% wrong, but what I've seen is the class shrunk significantly. And then everyone bumped up to the 4800, or some people kind of had the loophole already kind of built in, or, you know, whatever, they re-engineered it. So we are going to run a double-ended ram, but with a hybrid system of having another mechanical link running parallel to the whole ram.
Okay.
So
if they were to remove the hose, you'd still be able to turn the wheels.
Correct. No power steering, but you'll still be able to turn the wheels.
Yep.
So
I see those guns, dude. I see those guns. That's all the power you need, bro.
Yeah, right.
When you're doing 112, you're just barely on top of the surface. You don't need. There's not much friction there.
Everybody's going hybrid these days, so you know.
Yeah. I think it should turn the wheels fine. We're gonna be running at like 36, 40 psi, so it's
Yep.
completely different from what I'm normally used to at like
Is that
12.
the PSI you would run, Jose? Like what? I mean, that I don't know. What is your opinion on? No
You see any
comment.
guys going to a
I just wanted
single-ended
to see if
ram?
Jose had a comment there, but he doesn't.
What was that?
Do you see anybody going to a single-ended ram?
So single-handed rams have been a lot in a lot of
Once.
vehicles. There still are.
I mean,
So
do you see
those
anybody
guys,
switching from the double-ended to a single-ended?
not personally.
The double ended
Once
is
you
a
go
lot of
double-ended-
work.
Oh.
It's too much work to keep
Damn it,
both of
Jose.
those ends going in the right direction at the right time.
Jose got me.
I mean, because that's the easiest, like, quickest way to put it. Like, stay within
Go on.
the rules.
Yes.
Don't finish. Almost
So
there.
I mean, we're trying. So we have a contingency. Like if they say, "Hey, you can't run the double-ended ram. You must run the single-ended ram or whatever," then we already have a backup ready to go. So we just like we're gonna have new links, new
Matt's
everything,
Frontier.
pretty much. Huh?
It's Matt's Frontier. That's your backup.
Yep. So yeah, we have a backup just in case it doesn't work, and they can say, "Hey, yeah, switch this and you pass deck." Okay, well, I guess we're gonna be cutting this whole bracket off and then redoing this. So that's where we're at right now.
That was very technical.
It's
Well, we're just
that
gonna
rule
cut this
change-
bracket and do this shit. Good to go.
See that thing? Doesn't need to be there anymore.
I like it.
What's it do? I don't know. Cut that shit off.
Yeah, all those 50, 60 hours he took to spend,
Yep.
throw it out the window.
Yep.
That's how
useless.
that's how we'd show up. They
Yeah.
just start telling us, "Well, you got to start cutting this out,
Yep.
cut that out. You can't run that. What are you doing with this?" And the next thing we know, we just have like
But look,
just a pile of parts.
I'll
like-
tell you, if that's the case, and you need to start cutting stuff, Matt and I are your guys. We have years of demo experience.
100%.
We can wreck some shit. Give us a sawzall and a 12-inch blade, and we will demolish that thing. You just point us in the right direction, and we'll be close. We might knock off a couple things that you didn't want to cut out, but it'll be light.
Look, he's bragging about his sawzall, but I'll tell you, I have like one of those utility tools that I can put different bits in. I can demo shit with that. I have
Bandsaw.
like a grinder. Oh, let's not forget about my bandsaw.
Bandsaw.
So-
Now we should go demonstrate our skills and just go
Let's
into the
just go
tits
demo
and
some
start
stuff.
demoing some shit. Be like, what? You didn't want that? Or
Nestor, here's an opportunity for you. You don't have to point towards your vehicle. You could point to somebody else's and say, "Start demo on that." It's up to you.
I'll be like, you see that over there? You see that over there? I'm not sure he'll pass tech.
Yeah.
This might help him out. You might
Yeah.
want to help him out.
Make sure he doesn't pass tech. You got it, Nestor.
Oh man, but yeah. So I mean, it's been a hell of a journey. I mean, it's been wild, and we're gonna film the whole process and everything. Yeah, so we're gonna start posting stuff more frequently now. But we wanna hopefully get the story out there, get people involved to see, what they think about the truck. Because I am 1,000% sure you guys have never seen a truck anything close to what this is about to be. Just the front end alone.
1,000%.
1,000. Let me go to
Okay, no,
is that good enough? All right.
It's a
I know,
big,
like,
it's a
you like
large
the big things.
percentage.
I mean, you like the big thing, so I'm going with
Okay.
So it was it's the front end is drastically different. The back end is I can't.
tell me about the back end. Come on, Nestor.
The back
I
end.
want
It's
I want
round.
details. I
It
want.
has
Say
a
it-
curvature.
say it
It's a
slowly.
beautiful curvature.
Is it thick or is it like a scrawny thin
round
back
and
end?
bulbous.
I don't know,
Slim
man.
thick.
All I know is that when I put those 37s on and
Yeah.
I did the full flex, I was like,
Get
that girl thick. That girl thick.
I swear to
Nestor,
God.
you're the best, dude.
I swear to God, we're 12. We're 12.
Oh man. Well, I can't wait to hang out and have a few beers with Nestor.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
For sure.
Yeah, we'll be out there for sure.
Hey, just know that what you're feeling right now, everyone else that's building a race car is in the same situation. They've been knowing about the due date, and they're looking at, they're looking at their clocks and calendars and like, holy shit.
You think Shannon Campbell is stressed right now,
Yes.
or do you think all 28
No.
of his minions are building the car and
Yeah,
he's
I
like,
was about to
That's okay. Everyone in your class
yes,
right now
in his class.
is
Some of these guys are just packing their bag to get on the chopper
That's
to
true.
land on the lake bed.
Okay, I retract my last statement. Everything in your class, everybody in
Yes.
your class right now is feeling what you're feeling right
Yes.
Oh, I'm sure, and you know what? Hats off to them because this shit is wild. I mean, it's what it's harder. It's so hard to describe it because you think, oh, it's just difficult. No, it's just difficult. It takes a lot of time. No, it's literally the craziness of looking at something and go, yeah, that's good, and then you look at the rule book and you're like, shit, this is not good. No way. And so you have to this, like you said earlier, like this roller coaster you're in the entire time. There's excitement, like, oh, I got it, and then you look at it and you're like, shit,
Hey,
I gotta do everything again.
just for future reference, I'm gonna suggest reading the rule book first. Just,
I mean,
just check.
does
I'm gonna
everybody
run
follow the
14
instruction
axles.
manual, putting an IKEA together? Come on now.
I'm assuming.
Yeah,
like,
but no one's going to inspect my IKEA furniture when I'm done. You gotta go make tech
Your wife
inspection.
will.
Nah, she don't care.
But if you go to the rule book, like I would just say, look, I have a Nissan. I'm beyond this
Yeah.
rule book. This
Supersede.
does not apply to any of this shit.
Where do I file for exempt status?
That's
I
right.
have a Nissan.
Exactly.
You know,
You can
it-
run
it's
whatever
funny,
you
it's
want,
like-
sir.
It's gonna be this unicorn that just pops up, and people are gonna be like, so does he apply to the rule book?
Yeah.
Like, what's going
Yeah.
on here? Like,
That's
so
right.
I mean, it's funny.
You're rewriting the books.
Oh God, that's not good. That's happened once before. We're not doing that again. That was a bad situation. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I keep getting questions like, "Oh, what's the name of the truck?" and everything like that. I'm like, "Oh my God, I keep getting asked that same question every single day." So I just told my crewmates, I'm like, "Hey, pick your own name." Like, so we're still trying to figure out the name of the truck. There's been a couple that's been thrown out there. It's been let me see right here. I'm just gonna pull this up. It was Night Fury.
Can I recommend Thunderdome?
Thunderdome.
How about
Thunderdome.
Thunderdome?
Thunderdome. No, it's got to be cool. Thunderdome's cool.
What's the other one? It was
Thunder Lover.
Black Horse. I mean Dark Horse. Extrosity.
That's too hard to
Some-
spell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Extra
Aragon,
city? What city?
Mistress X.
X Factor?
I don't know.
I'm
There's-
pretty sure that's
Factor X?
There's been so many crazy.
How about
things.
Hammered Time?
Hammer. And one of the guys, oh man, he's so funny. He was like, you know what? We should get this vinyl printed and just say, fuck this money. You would just put it across the side and just over everybody's logo.
Open tab.
Exhaustion. Exhaustion.
Extra hammered.
So yeah, it was like we're still trying. I mean, I'm not picking names. I'm not a big believer in names, but everybody else in my crew believes like
It's
it
called
has to have a name.
marketing. That's it.
I guess
Branding.
So we'll whatever they decide, that's what we're gonna go with.
Okay.
So if you guys have any suggestions, just send it on over. I want to see it.
All right.
I just gave you the
I'm gonna
best
vote for it.
ones. That's all I got. If you know,
So-
if it didn't go, that's it. Then it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
move on to whatever you were thinking about.
So, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be little crazy, and I hope you guys like the wrap and everything, the design that we put together.
Are you
It's
gonna
a little simple, but at the same
unveil it
time,
at the lake bed, or are you gonna put it out on social before you get there?
No, I'm gonna unveil it on social as we travel.
Okay.
Oh.
But I won't like release it until I'm 100% sure that truck can drive. Because
Somewhere
I-
before between Austin and California, I'm assuming.
so there's a thing. Far Motorsports, Chris from the team, he was like, "All right, because he's on the same boat. You know, he's like a week away, and we're like, we gotta leave, and his truck is probably a little bit further from mine, not much further, but a little bit further. And he's like, all right, one thing or another is gonna happen. Either we're gonna on the 28th, because they're thinking about leaving on the 30th. Well, he said on the 28th, it gives them the date, but on the 28th, one or two things are gonna happen. Either go to the race, call it, and say, yes, we're going to the race, or you're going to forward it. And I said, what is forward it? He goes, the year before, Ford was supposed to enter the race with the new Bronco, and then they couldn't finish it, so they ended up just showing it. They say, here's our new Bronco. We're racing next year.
Yeah, we're here. Shit, man. I want you to get that truck done, get it on the lake bed, and just kill it.
Mhm.
Man, I want to finish the race. I keep getting asked, like, hey, like, the support I'm getting lately has been awesome. It's been like astronomical. I can't thank people enough. Everybody's like, "You're gonna be number one." And I'm like, the only thing I'm gonna look for is finishing that race. That 25% mark is so difficult to obtain,
Especially your first time out, right?
Right.
With a home built vehicle.
Correct.
If you're just able to run a steady race and finish inside the time limit, that is to your point, that is a threshold that most teams don't ever achieve. Like that would be
Correct.
a huge win. Just like slow and steady, finish the race. The vehicle was solid. That would be amazing.
Right. And like, so uh, as we speak, and I'm pretty sure it's still going on. Oh, it ended.
Yeah.
But there was the live show. Were you watching the live show?
No, I saw that it went on. Yeah, but I didn't.
Okay, so and during the live show, they released for the first time the course map, and they went over the course before it actually got released. So it's supposed to be officially released February 2nd. They gave a lot of details out. What's it called, during the last 2-3 hours. So I was like watching it. I actually forgot that our meeting was now. I forgot Pacific Eastern time.
So did Cody.
Time traveler.
Yeah.
So well, I was like, oh, I still got a couple hours. So I started watching the show, and man, I mean, they changed so much of the course, and from the looks of it, a lot of new trails, a lot of they changed remote pit one location is a little further out, a little more high speed sections. So we're gonna see a very dynamic, different King of the Hammers, with a lot new obstacles, and one of them, which I kind of caught me off guard, is that once you get down, so on the course, once you go down to Jackhammer, you can either go up Jackhammer or down Sledge, and they said basically you take whatever route you want to get to the next checkpoint from this point. So if I mean go to a straight line, go in a straight line. If it goes to the right, left, whatever, as long as you stay within a certain boundary, you can go however you want to that next checkpoint.
Yeah, I'm browsing through the feed from.
Is it true that it's not backdoor anymore? It's side door now. Is that true?
Side door. It's side door.
It's a side door
So
action if you want.
They said that backdoor is pretty carved out.
Okay, hold on. Let me try this one. It's not Chocolate Thunder anymore. It's Vanilla Thunder now because they're trying to be like PC
Inclusive.
Yeah, there's a lot of other people were offended by Chocolate Thunder, and they want to make sure that they're representing Vanilla Thunder as well. This year, Vanilla Thunder.
I don't care who you are. Everybody experiences Chocolate Thunder in some way, shape, or form.
It's been a while, but
what's your experience with terrain like Johnson Valley?
The what?
What's your experience with terrain like that? What's in Johnson Valley?
So, besides that one time I was there in October, very little. So here in Florida we have sugar sand. It's a little more aggressive, a little thicker, but at the same time a lot more loose.
Sugar
sand.
sand. Do you buy that by the gram or by the pound? Is that is
Well,
that like
the
a
pound.
kilo?
No. It's the kilos. I was about to say the kilos are a lot easier. The sugar sand it reacts very different than it is out there. Out there, the sand shifts a lot different, and it's a lot easier to read. Sugar sand is just like a white cap, and you don't know if there's whoops or not. And the thing is, it's so soft that when you hit, if you go basically under like 25 miles per hour, you're gonna get stuck. Um, so that's when it comes to sand, that's as much as I've gotten. When it comes to rocks, obviously I've done a lot of rocks. When they're dry, it's similar to that, but not quite because over there the grip is pretty damn gnarly. I mean, the only thing I can compare that to is like on a really, really dry day and doing like a double black diamond in Tennessee. Okay, that's pretty damn close. But when it comes to the slickness, I did drive an obstacle in Chocolate Thunder where when we were going in it, the sand when it was like laid over the rocks acted like mud or if it was like water it like lost traction for a couple seconds and then it gripped again, but
Interesting.
when it gripped it like catapulted you forward because it actually gripped hard. So that I've never experienced like before. So when it comes to that, I memorized a lot of the stuff, but I still until you're there, until you drive it, until you race it, like it's gonna change.
That's gonna be interesting. I'm very curious to see how that plays out. Um, well, dude, I mean, I'm super excited. I'm super excited for you. We are excited to catch up with you on the lake bed. I'm expecting you're not going to have a lot of time to just hang out because you're going to be, working on the truck to the last minute and prepping for the race. But we definitely want to connect with you when you get out here. So, when do you think you're going to be on the lake bed?
So our all our reservations stuff on the 31st. We're gonna be on the lake bed on the 31st. Um, officially, like kind of set up and stuff like that on the first. And then go from there.
Okay.
And we'll see how everything pans out from there.
So
It gives us a day to kind of like settle in because everything officially opens on the second.
Yeah, I was just looking at the calendar. We'll be there 9, 10,
9th.
yeah, that Thursday for sure.
Maybe the 8th.
Maybe the evening of the 8th. After
I have the 8th off.
Do you?
So,
but we'll be there for sure the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th.
How far is it from you guys?
Hour and 45, 2 hours.
Oh, that's not terrible.
No.
45 minutes.
Yeah, for Casey it's closer, but
Are you in Barstow?
He's in Big
Bear.
Oh.
But from
Yeah.
In the mountains you drove past to get there.
Yeah. Last year we went out. Matt and I at least went out the Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And I really liked that because it was late. It was after work. There was no traffic going up there. And we got up cruising.
We got to meet the team or whatever. We were already out there early in the morning.
We were already out there. Yeah. So we might try to pull that off again. Just depends on work schedules.
You guys are camping out?
Yeah. We'll be camping out there the whole time. So if you've got anything
in a secret location,
if you need anything while you're out there, don't hesitate to reach out.
Yeah, no, I will. I mean, I've had I think we're staying somewhere right outside the Dust Bowl area. I don't know. I don't know. I just know that someone gave me a pin and said, "This is where we're gonna meet." And I was like, "All right,
okay,
sounds great." I mean, I'm just going with teams that've been there before, so they're like, "Hey, we're gonna station here." I'm like, "All right."
Well,
that means that.
And what you find is people that have gone out there before, like they have a spot that they know and they like it, and so they just keep going back to that same spot every time.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's what I keep getting told. So we'll see how it all goes out. I think it's like I said, it's about 3 of us kind of gathered up. So we're gonna have this giant little mini town within Amherst. And I think it's gonna be 3 trucks out there. But we'll see. I mean, it all depends. Everything will pan out differently as we get closer. Because from what I've learned over the last 2 months, that nothing set in concrete with these guys or the production team until it actually happens.
Yeah.
Because it could be changed like 1,000 times.
Yeah, for sure. And there's so much there's so much out there, and there's so much to be done between now and then. You know, just keep focused on getting to the lake bed and then figure it out from there, I guess.
Right. I mean, and it's kind of difficult because from Florida, you have so much logistics to manage. But, you have to have some sort of plan. But yeah, I mean, I'm at this point, we're just going to have to, once we're on the road, we just have to wing it and see what happens from there.
If I could say anything, bring warm clothing.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Everybody I've been seeing with jackets on.
No,
not
not
jackets.
jackets. Thermals, pants.
Oh, really?
We were out there. We scouted our potential camp locations. It was 25 degrees a month ago. Last year it was 18 degrees at night.
At the most.
18 Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Fahrenheit. So that's sub freezing. It was pretty brutal.
And bring goggles.
So what is it during the day?
50s.
Yeah, I would say 50 to 60.
Maybe
65 at the most, but it's Mark is saying in the chat room that it got as low as 12 last year at Hammertown.
Yeah, at nighttime the temperature plummets.
Yeah, so as a rule, this is my personal rule. When we go out and we do our wheeling, we go hit the trail, whatever, we get back to camp, I immediately put on my snowboarding gear because for me, if you wait until you're like starting to get cold to then get your gear on, you will never warm up again because by that point it's too late. So have warm clothes, warm gear, electric blankets if possible. Whatever you can. It does get cold as shit out there.
Well, the good thing is that we have the camper that we're renting out there. Plus, we have an Airbnb in Yucca.
Okay.
So we have two. So if we gotta wash clothes and everything, we just haul ass to the Airbnb, clean everything. We go back.
Pioneer Town. It's
you got a trailer
30
from?
minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're.
Well, kudos.
Yeah, you'll be 30 minutes away. So it won't be too bad.
Yeah, I mean, 30 minutes without traffic. What was that?
Who did you rent a trailer from?
Elmani
we RV share. Like RV share. So a buddy of mine does that every day, and kind of just rents his RV out. And so we were looking. So our trailer that we were given for the trip to do it, got totaled out like right before Christmas. So yeah. So because of that, we scrambled to get another one, and we were just looking and called people left and right. And I got another one lined up. We were going to pull from here all the way there. But then we calculated the gas, all the stuff, everything we had to carry, all that extra, vehicles and all that crap. And then we realized, holy crap, if we just rent it from a guy out there, we save like $2,500.
Yeah.
So it's not cheap by no means, but still, like $2,500 is not bad at all. So we have to pick up a trailer
from Cletus in Barstow.
No.
It sounds like you spoke to Cletus. He said. So, it was my opportunity to clown on Barstow. I take my shots when I can.
We got to pick up the trailer right below LA. So yeah, it's like an hour and a half away one way.
Yeah, you're going 2 to 2.5 hours. What city is it? Is it El Monte?
I don't know. No.
El Monte RV, dude.
W.
When
El Segundo.
Yeah, I went to like Yellowstone, Yellowstone like 20 years ago, and I saw El Monte RV like trailers and trucks all over the place.
Yeah.
Like, damn, those guys are representing.
Yeah.
Where is it? No, I don't remember.
Wilmington.
No.
It's
that sounds familiar.
south of LA.
Oh,
Starts with a W.
Dude, you might as well
Westminster?
Wabasha.
You guys are asking hard
We
question.
don't have to.
Oh, dude,
we
we're
don't
trying to
have
help you out here.
Yeah.
That's like a huge
Because
logistical no-no.
yes, because if you're
Yeah.
seriously, if you're picking up your trailer near
Anywhere-
LA,
yeah,
you are
you're-
2.5 to 3 hours past
Correct.
Johnson Valley.
Correct.
Oh,
Yeah, correct. It's
There,
like
there has to be a better option.
well, that was the cheapest option that we found that allowed no limits for like nothing. Like it was like $74 a night,
It was some
and
guy
there was
named Fred.
literally no limitations to anything. So, and it was the largest RV we can find.
That's the way I
so-
like to go. I don't like to be limited.
So where is the pickup location? Yeah, it's no. Yeah, it's pretty far.
yeah.
Yeah, Wildemar.
Wildemar.
Oh, Wildemar.
San Diego.
Yeah. Oh my
yeah.
Dude,
God.
that's far, bro.
Dude.
Dude, that's
That's
You
not.
just-
That's not as bad. That's not as bad as LA.
No, it's not.
dude. It
With
is.
traffic, it
Yes,
is.
it is, dude.
What traffic? He's
Well,
coming in-
I would rather go to Wildemar than freaking
Then-
LA.
yeah.
With a trailer.
Oh, I don't know,
So-
dude. I don't know that that's any better.
So what we have is we're gonna get out there, and then we have a guy who's gonna go
Look.
pick up the trailer.
Don't dissuade him. Like, dude,
We're not
that's your
dissuading-
No,
problem.
we're not dissuading. We're
We're just trying to help him out.
yeah, Jose
logistically.
and I now are thinking about options. Like, what
Yeah.
else could we do? Like,
Yeah.
that's
I mean, you guys can pull it over there.
when are you supposed to pick it up?
The what?
When are you supposed to pick it up?
On the hold on.
31st.
On the first, actually.
Tomorrow.
On the first.
Yeah.
That day, you guys are just gonna be driving out
Yeah.
to Wildemar and driving back.
Yeah, I mean that's what we have planned. Like,
Yeah,
we're gonna stay at the
that's
Airbnb
not-
the day before, and then that next day, one crew's gonna go ahead and
Go grab the
take
trailer.
off
and
and
bring
go
it
get
back. Yeah, that's not.
Because they can go down the 79 or whatever.
Yeah, they're
that
gonna go
is.
through the Palm Springs.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Well,
Right.
that's a lot, dude. You got a lot on your plate, man. I do not envy you.
So let's look at this like from his point of view. They're driving across the country, so wasting a
What's in it-
couple
yeah.
hundred miles like dicking around.
yeah.
Yeah,
it's
you
like
can't do that
whatever,
at all.
Holmes. Like that's just what we gotta do.
I see. I'd be in the opposite boat. I'd be like, "Fuck you! I just drove across the country. I'm not going anywhere else for the next week."
I'm not driving 5 more fucking minutes.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we're like, whatever, just go get it. We'll be back. But yeah, other than that, that's the update. I know because we last time you were like, give me an update. Well,
Yeah.
here's the update, and it's like, why? It's a crazy one.
Well, and we're excited for you. We are excited that you've made about 50% of progress since the last time we talked to you. You've only got 55% more to go.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
In 3 weeks.
in 3 days, yeah. But super excited for you guys to get this far, and dude, kudos to you guys for trying to pull this off the way you're doing it. It's a lot of stuff on your plate, man.
So,
Sounds like Mark wants to tow it. He's asking what kind of trailer it is.
Maybe Mark. I mean, Mark, if anybody could tow it, Mark can.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's got an F251.
Yes.
251. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a
Special
new, that's-
edition.
Is that a 2022? 24
Special
model?
It's
edition.
a special edition F251.
Um,
It's but yeah, as you get closer to the date and you get to get on the road, let us know what's going on and let us know if you need anything. Like I said, we're here and we're not far away if something comes up while you're out here.
Okay, no, I really appreciate it. I'll keep you guys in the loop. There's a couple of people out there in California that I've known for many years that have been, we've been kind of coordinating stuff as well. Especially getting food and beers.
Cletus and Barstow.
Mm.
Cletus and Marshall.
Sorry.
But yeah, I mean, I'll keep you guys in the loop.
Awesome.
And just like I said, just follow the socials.
Mm-hmm.
Invite everybody to follow especially the Instagram and the Facebook. Those are the ones we post the most in.
Remind everybody the Instagram.
So Instagram is Camacho _motorsports_. That's the Instagram page. And then Camacho, Shadow Wolf and Camacho Motorsports will both be updating simultaneously. So because we're same company,
Yeah.
just so we will be shutting down doors for those 2 weeks, and then showing the truck and having fun with it.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. All right, man. Well, I'm sure you need to get some sleep, and we've been running for a couple hours.
Yeah.
And we'll keep an eye on the Instagram, and I'm sure we'll know what's going on, and let us know if you need anything, man.
Yeah, no, thank you, and I look forward to meeting you guys out there.
Awesome, dude. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
No problem.
All right. Bye.
Thanks, Nestor.
Yeah.
All right. That's awesome. All right, man. We'll I'll be editing this tomorrow after work, and then I'll send you an email when it all gets posted up and ready for download on Thursday.
Okay, sounds good, man. That's awesome.
All right, dude. Definitely, like I said, definitely let us know what's going on. Keep us informed, and let us know if you need anything.
Yeah, no problem. No, and I thank you guys for the opportunity, and we'll go from there.
Oh, no worries, man. Well, have a great night.
Right. You too. See
right.
you guys.
Bye.
Thanks, man.
All right, everybody. Betty White said President Camacho.
That's the best one, dude.
President Camacho should be the name of the truck.
You know where that's from, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. All right. All right, everybody in the chat room, thank you for hanging out. It was a long one tonight, and Betty White caught the fact that I tried to sneeze. I had to turn my mic off and tried to sneeze. Thank you. All right, we're going to end the stream here and record our intro and then go from there. And we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye-bye.